How you doing, everyone? Welcome back. Well, about that time of year when school's starting to start back up, isn't it? Yeah, and what does that mean for us exactly? Well, all kinds of things, not the least of which parents being terrified about school shootings. And, you know, a lot of schools are having active shooter drills. And what made me think of this is I saw a social media post from uh, from someone that says effectively uh, schools should be like bank vaults, basically, as far as how they're protected, you know. And in principle, I agree with that. In practice, though, what does that look like? What, armed guards everywhere? You want kids to feel like they're in prison? Yeah, because that'll help them learn, won't it? And, there are things we can do, you know. And I do believe there should be armed security at schools. I think it should be discreet. But yeah, it can be done. Another thing that people like to say is arm the teachers. Yeah, that's a great idea, isn't it? Now, I used to advocate for this, right? I actually used to advocate for arming teachers. That's not a good idea. I know now that I was wrong when I was saying that. Because what happens? You arm teachers. First of all, we have people right now who are saying arm the teachers who don't trust teachers with books. You don't trust teachers to teach, but you trust them to protect your kids. You don't trust them to protect your kids from information that you don't want them to know, but you trust them to save their lives, to take out a shooter, right? That's one reason it's a bad idea. Second of all, I'm not disparaging teachers at all when I say this, but just like any other occupation, just like any other segment of the population, you're going to have a few who are not mentally capable, shall we say. I mean, couldn't that open the door for a stressed out teacher to become the shooter? Now, is that likely to happen? Of course not. Just like it's not likely that your kid's school is going to get shot up. That doesn't make it impossible, though, does it? So, arming the teachers. Another problem with that scenario. All right, active shooter comes in, right? You've got the math teacher over here, and he's coming this way, right? The math teacher's coming this way, and the history teacher's coming this way. They see each other. Now keep in mind, I mean, they could take each other out, whether being caught up mentally, not realizing just exactly who that is. I mean, they probably see each other every day, but just in the heat of the moment, they might not realize who it is. Or math teacher, history teacher, and you've got the shooter right here, and they both shoot to eliminate the shooter, they take each other out. They take each other out. Yeah, great idea. Great idea, isn't it? And that's not the end of the problem with teachers being armed. The fact that they just don't want to be armed, most teachers, they don't want to be armed. How about I'm sorry, but a gun in the hands of somebody who doesn't want a gun in their hands is dangerous. That is extremely dangerous. And that does nothing to make the situation better. Another scenario similar to the two teachers, right? The police come in to try to find the shooter and neutralize the situation, right? And the science teacher is out there taking out the shooter or whatever, and the police see the science teacher. How do they know that the science teacher isn't the shooter? They take out the science teacher. Yeah, great idea, isn't it? What else is wrong with arming teachers? Oh, how about the fact that they're already not paid enough and now you want to add armed security to their job description? Teachers are already grossly underpaid. But now you want them to be armed security. And you don't want to pay them anymore. Let's throw all this responsibility on them, in addition to the responsibility that they already have. Oh, and at the same time, they have to worry about parents yelling at them about, being woke or whatever, or, grooming the kids, because, God forbid, people that some parents don't understand exist in this world. They have to know every word of every book that's in the school library to make sure that it doesn't get in there, or so that they can go pull it off the shelves so that the kids can't read it. So we expect teachers to know every word of every book in the school library so that they can take the stuff off the shelves. We expect them to only teach kids what we want them to know. We expect them to not talk about certain parts of history that, make us uncomfortable. We expect them to not teach certain things that kids need to know. We don't trust them with teaching our kids, but we trust them as armed guards to protect our kids? Look, there are ways to protect the schools. Armed security is one of those ways. Arming teachers is not one of those ways. Now, I can understand a few scenarios here and there where it might not be a bad idea for a teacher to carry. Teacher already has a carry permit. Say, for example, I'm a teacher, right? Let's just say I'm a teacher. And now, in my state of Iowa, there is no carry permit required, but I am a veteran, right? I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan. I've been in combat situations. So, for me to be able to carry, If I were a teacher, yeah, maybe. Maybe. But, I remember, my second grade teacher, she was kind of an old woman. Could she handle a firearm? I don't know. But she didn't look like somebody I would trust with one, at least based on the way I remember her. Sweet old lady, but not cut out to be armed security. I mean, she was old back then. I don't think she's even alive anymore. But she was a sweet old lady back then. And I would not trust her to be armed security. I mean, my elementary school gym teacher, yeah, I'd probably trust him to be armed security. Sixth grade teacher, yeah, I would have trusted him too. And then again, he was a Vietnam vet, but um, but there are other ways. There are other ways. School resource officers, great idea. Unfortunately, a lot of communities don't have the resources to have them in every school. Controlled access points, yeah, good idea. Armed teachers, bad idea. Schools looking like prisons, bad idea. Armed security everywhere, bad idea. Kids are there to learn. I don't think they're going to learn a whole lot of value if we keep stressing them out. Guns everywhere, and they're afraid that things might go down at any moment, which they could anyway. But now they don't know if they can trust the people that they're supposed to be able to trust. I don't know. There are ways it could be done, but it's not an easy answer. I'll catch you next time.